Hey, can you hear me on this speed? On this mic? Is this mic on? Can I talk bad to John right now?
Podcast. All right. And you're recording, so.
Okay, everyone. Prince on the Rise is back. This is my second segment on Prince on the Rise podcast. And today I have a very good friend of mine, sir, Kevin Cahill Bey. We did time together in Florence Leavenworth Federal Penitentiary. That's where I met him at, and we became really, really good friends, and we still are good friends, you know. So I invited him here today, and we just want to chop it up with y'all. But first, I got to let y'all know something about this guy. This guy is super smart. When I say super smart, he is super smart and too smart. But I have been trying to, well, anyway, when I came home, I needed to know different things and stuff, and I would call him. And, man, he had the answers for me, you know, and he still has answers for me today. And I just wanted to have him on the show so we could just sit here and just talk about, you know, our relationship and the things that we done in prison and how we survived prison, because, you know, prison is more mental than it is physical. People think it's all about the physical, you know, but it's mental. A lot goes on in your head all the time when you're incarcerated. So we're going to talk about the things that we did to be evasive of knowing we was locked up. You know what I mean? Feeling the pain and not being there with our parents, you know, our loved ones and stuff. So we're just going to talk about the things that me and him done at the program he was in and I became a part of, you know what I mean, and how I became a part of it and everything. And we're going to talk about our very first stage play we did together. And I'm telling y'all, it was a blast. So anyway, what's up, Cahill Bey?
Yeah, what's going on, Prince? What's going on? Thanks for welcoming me here today. Yeah, it's an honor to be here with Brother Stanley Prince. Prince on the Rise. I'm going to shout out to Prince on the Rise. Yeah, like Prince was saying, me and Prince met, 2000, I want to say 11?
Yep, 2011.
2011 in Leavenworth. So Prince walked in the chow hall, and I was like, oh, the Jolly Green Giant has arrived. He walked through, and they said, oh, this one of our homeboys. And he came and sat down, and he was, in the beginning, you know, people, they know him to be quiet. He was quiet, got his care package and everything. And then once he started moving around, everybody knew him. He had a name and a reputation. I'm like, okay. But at first, some people was telling me, oh, man, don't mess with that dude there, man. He a clown, you know. I'm like, yeah. I didn't take that to be factual about him. I did my own thing. He did his own thing. So let me tell you how we bumped into each other. Was it Men of Influence?
Yeah.
So we was homeboys. We was in the same place for about a year by then.
Yeah.
And we would just see each other, small talk, pricing at the table. You know, I might give him milk out of my sock and all that. You know,
Yeah, you gotta talk about that.
might give him milk out of my sock. But at one point, so prison life, you can go through different roller coasters. You go in sometimes and you want to have this, oh, I'm tough role, or I'm mad at the world, and I'm the victim. The police picked on me, not knowing the fact that, or not realizing the fact that you committed a crime. You violated. I don't care what it is you did it. You made that decision. And they just did their job. They just protect us as a community. Mm-hmm. And when I had realized that, I had started saying, you know, I'm finna rehabilitate myself. You know, I'm tired of being here, because that wasn't my first time being incarcerated. I had been in and out from juvenile, and I was tired of it. You know, I'm like, man, I'm tired of always ending up in the same situation. It was always the same situation, just different location, just a different facility with some different people. But I was tired of it. So Miss Rivera, she was the counselor. She had this program called Men of Influence, and that caught my attention. Men of Influence. I'm like, oh, let me go sign up. You know, in federal prison, you have to program. You have to program.
That's
you ain't going home if you don't program.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I signed up for this class. And some of the classes, we fake it to make it, right? Sometimes we're not really interested. I'm just going to sign up, sit in the class. Hopefully I could pay somebody a couple packs of cigarettes and they'll write me off, say that I was there. But you're really not there. But Men of Influence was different, and it really was different when I walked in and seen Stanley Prince in there. And I was like, what is he doing in here? You know, he don't do nothing. He bucked the system on everything. But Prince was sitting in there, and so I'm sitting in there, and I'm like, okay. And I seen him, and I'm like, all right, I got to put this St. Louis mask on because one of the homeboys there, so I got to do this St. Louis stuff. And I think he kind of had that, but I think it was something that came over us, both of us, and he started talking, and I could hear the sincerity in your voice, like, man, I really want to change, you know, and I wanted to change, so I said, hey, if he taking his mask off, maybe I could take my mask off.
That's right.
So we got rid of the mask, and as the program went on, he and I started learning more about each other, and we started growing much, much closer.
That's right.
And that's how we made our initial connection, our initial friendship.
That's right.
Then, and I'm gonna pass the mic back to Prince here in a second.
No, go ahead.
Then I was in a program called LCP, which stands for Life Connections Program, 18-month faith-based program, probably the best program that I ever had joined. It actually helped change my life. You know, still to this day. Shout out to Chaplain Hughes, who I gave the blues.
Hughes, man, that's my guy.
I thought Chaplain Hughes was a monster, but didn't know that he was probably the best.
Person, yes.
And he's actually a doctor. He's a psychiatrist.
Yes, that's right.
Psychologist or psychiatrist, one of them. He don't give you the medication. So
right.
the ologist is the one who give you the medication, right?
Right.
Or the psychiatrist. You know, you got ologist and you got ologist. Anyway, he's Dr. Kendall Hughes, you know. Shout out to him, you know, a great
Mr.
guy.
Hughes, got to get you down here, man. Got to get you here, man. But we coming to where you at, man. I need to interview you, man.
Dr. Hughes was a great asset. He worked on me in ways he didn't even know he worked on me. So I was in the Life Connections program, and when I met Prince and Men of Influence, I was like, man, Prince will do good in the Life Connections program. But that program, you have to be, 3 years short from going home. And Prince was just a little bit over, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was just a little bit over. But he wanted to change so bad, he would just come and show up to our classes, you know. And he was supposed to be in his wing. He'll be out of bounds. But he was like, look, I'm going to sacrifice getting a write-up to change my life, you know.
That's right.
And because they could have locked him up, put him in a shoe. And if you go to the shoe, you lose days. So that means you stay in prison longer. So I said, if this man is willing to stay in prison longer just to change his life, he's really sincere. So that's how we made our initial connection. Dr. Hughes wound up allowing us, said, you know what, because Prince kept on coming. He was like, you know what, he called the command officers and said, hey, look, Stanley Prince is going to be on our count to my unit, you know, or to my program. Don't even worry about it, you know. So that's how him and I made our first connection. Now the play. So now he touched on the play. So we had a graduation. We did 6 months in that program? We did 6 months in Men of Influence. And you remember, I forgot Charles something. He was one of the facilitators.
That is right. And then the other guy,
Charles.
Oh man, what was his name?
He called himself Chuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Chuck,
right.
he was
Man.
He was amazing. He was amazing.
And very smart.
Very
his
smart.
His intellect, man, is one of intellects in prison that just captivated me, man. I wanted to be like that guy. I wanted to be smart like him. I even wanted to be smart like you.
I wanted to be smart like him.
Yeah, because I used to see
I wanted to be smart like him and big like you.
Yeah, because you can just get with stuff, bro. Yeah. It's like you can read something immediately. You got it all, you know what I'm saying, figured out. But me, I read something and I'm steady trying to figure that out. But I would get it. And I think that was one of the things that really led me to sneaking in y'all program, the LCP program and stuff, because it was so many guys there I seen that was really trying to get their life together. Yeah. They were smart men, you know what I mean? And so I wanted to be around that, you know, because I'm hearing stuff like, if you want to be smart, you want to be successful, you got to be around smart, successful people.
That's right.
So that's why I started shying away from everybody and started hanging out around y'all at all those programs. That's how I became a facilitator.
Yep.
Because I learned as I went along from Chuck and watching him, how he would orchestrate the class and how he would talk to men when they came in, how he would present himself to them, not like he was soft, but at the same time,
he had to be
like,
stern.
Yeah, stern, like, and he understood. You know, he had a great understanding. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things, man, that really inspired me, man. That brother right there, man, Chuck, and the other brother that gave us the directions on how to do the stage play. What was his name? From Minnesota.
No, he was from Chicago. Bald head, dark skinned guy.
dog.
I forget his name,
I
but
forget that brother now.
yeah.
I'm thinking about him, man.
So we wrote that play. Me and him wrote the play because
Yeah.
remember we weren't gonna do the play because it was some stuff about he wanted his name on the script, and I was like, well, go ahead, you know. Then I said, you know what, I wrote it. You ain't finna put your name on my
That's
stuff.
right.
But then I thought about it because Prince was mad. I think Prince was ready to fight. He was like, man, y'all gonna mess up my graduation because we weren't gonna have the graduation ceremony at all. And I said, you know what, it's nothing but a name on there. Just I went on here and folded. I said, come on, all right, put your name on it.
Yeah.
But the play, it was a great play. We called it Choices,
Yep.
Inside and Out.
Inside
And Out. And that play, it was a real life script of, it gave you an idea of choices.
That's right.
Because what we did was we had these people, which was Prince and I, we was kind of like the stars.
Yeah.
Me and
Yeah,
Prince
we-
was like we headlined the play, and we had both. It's actually we live in that play right now.
Yeah.
We live in the play right now because we had both had been in prison according to the play, and then got released. And both ran into certain people. Prince was doing good. He had been out before me and doing good. And I was trying my best to do good, but the doors kept on closing in my face.
Right.
You know, no, you're a felon. No, you
Yeah.
can't do this. Oh, no, you got that. No, you got that. And then I ran into the Mac boys.
You're right,
brothers.
the Mac brothers. That's
Mac
right,
brothers.
the Mac brothers. Yeah.
And the Mac brothers was robbing banks. And I said, you know what? Forget that. And they told me, they said, man, let's go in there and watch out. The only thing I do is be the lookout. And as I was walking in the bank, Prince was walking in. I was walking in, Prince was walking out. And he knew that I was up to something because he said, hey, what's going on? I'm being suspect. And he gave me an alternative. And I went into the bank and I was supposed to go to tell her a note. And right when I got there, I gave her my check and I walked out and made the right decision.
That's right.
You know, and it's like I'm living that play right now, you know,
That's
because
right. That's right.
that temptation has faced me many times, you know,
Mhm.
right there. Say, here you go. One thing you got to do is go in there and swipe this card.
Mhm.
Nah. Because Prince always had this, he don't know. Every time when I have that crazy thought of doing something,
Mhm.
Prince's voice pop up back in my head. He always say, I'm tired of living in the bathroom with a man.
Yep.
And that always hit me. Anytime I'm finna do something stupid, I just go to my bathroom and say, now imagine another man in here.
That's
you
right.
know?
Yeah.
So that helped me. Now, let's go back to when you said being in prison, about the program. Initially, this program, remember, it was told, because I wasn't going to join that program, because people would say, oh, that's where the check-ins go. That's where the scary people go.
Yeah.
And so a check-in in prison is somebody who is scared.
Yep, and can't hold his
and can't
own
hold
in
it on.
prison.
So they either go to the hole or they have their own little community.
That's
and
right.
they call them check-ins.
Yeah.
And so when I heard that about this program, I said, I ain't going over there.
Yeah.
I said, hell no. But
Because you know what the whole boys would be feeling.
yeah, they're like, oh, this dude's soft.
Yeah.
So, but then I heard something, and it wasn't true. They said that if you do the program, you get 18 months off your sentence. I said, oh, hell, I'm going to have to be soft. You know,
Yeah.
sign me up. I'm trying to get up out of here as soon as possible.
That's right.
When I went over there, I found out you don't get no 18 months.
Must.
But I wound up getting something out the program and liking it, you know, so I stuck with it.
That's
you
right.
know.
You did.
I did. I stuck with it.
Yeah.
I did more than 18 months. I
Yeah.
actually did, because I got a transfer so the incentive of the program was upon completion, you get transferred to any institution that you want to go to.
Mhm.
And I had to wait for my custody level to drop to go to the place I wanted to go. But what do you think was your turning point that said, you know what, this is it, I need to really change?
In 2010, when my son got killed, I was in Marion. And, at this time, I couldn't read or write. So I get the world and we are passing in Marion. We on these walks where it's just a line of cells. In front of you is just a wall.
Just a
on
wall.
this side, just all cells. And so you got bars in your cells. So you would have to pass everything down to the boy from you to me, and I pass it down.
Right.
And so one of the homeboys, Sam, had got the world in, and when he get the world in and get done reading it, he had passed it down. And so he was passing it down, asked me to pass it down. He was next door to me, and I was passing to another guy because I never read the world because I hated the world because of the way it lied on me. The world lied. It lies. It fabricates stuff about guys and stuff. And so I hated the world. I never wanted to read the
They
world.
creative writers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but Sam passed it to me, the passed it to the homeboy next door to me. He's asleep. He didn't wake up. He said, all right, man, I get it, man. Leave me alone, leave me alone. So I'm sitting there looking at the girls, you know, because they had the world girls.
The
on
world
there.
girls. That's all I
right.
wanted to see.
Yeah, the world girls.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the world girls and stuff and everything. And so he finally get up and say, Prince, you through with the world? I said, yeah, here, man. I handed it to him. And so when I handed it to him, it probably went by like about 40 minutes, maybe an hour, because they was bringing our food in. Because we all on lockdown because a big old stabbing had happened with the Mexicans and the blacks. And so they locked the whole prison down because of that fight in the kitchen. And so they bringing our food down. So after they passed out the trays and stuff, he say, man, is that why you quiet? I'm like, huh? Who you talking to? Because he banged on my wall. He said, so that's why you quiet, Prince, man. Don't worry, man. You all right, man. You got us, man, the homeboys, but we got you, man. We got you. I'm like, what is you talking about, man?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got me, man. I got y'all. What's up? You know, I'm on that physical. I'm like, man, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? The homeboys got me. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, damn, that's right. I say, what? He said, man, you didn't see it. You know, let me get away from this because I didn't see it.
Right.
You know, and the reason why I didn't see it because I couldn't read at this time. You know, but in the world he had seen that my son had got killed.
Right.
And when he said that to me, the last time I remember was him saying, you know what I'm saying, ain't Victor your son? You know what I mean? And that's when everything like shut down in me, man. And I woke up, I was in infirmary. I had blacked out. And so, you know, them bars, I'm standing up at the bars, and he on this side, I'm trying to hear him. So I'm standing up at the bars when he telling me this. And so I guess I must have feared and hit my head, you know what I'm saying, on the bars. And so when the guards came around to pick up the trays and stuff, I was out. And so they thought I was faking because Sam told me, the homeboy that passed me the world, he said the guards thought, man, that you was in there faking, trying to get out, you know, because at this time, you know what I'm saying, they thought that everybody was on getting out the cells any way they could because nobody wanted to be locked in. And they thought that's what I was on. And that was, you know, man, that was my turning point. That was my turning point. But, you know, I tripped out for a while. I started just, you know what I'm saying, getting involved and stuff. That's how I ended up getting rolled to Leavenworth.
Yeah.
You know, I was trying to get it together. You know what I mean? And I started going to school, but my temple, that's like I had to do other stuff now to get away from thinking about this dude don't kill my son. You know what I mean? Nobody's coming to see me and stuff. You know what I mean? So I was really at my low at that time. And this guy named Randy, he worked in the school building. So, and in the federal prison system, people don't know, you can't walk in the center of the hallways. You have to walk on one side.
On one side.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so Randy then was coming from this side from the school, and I was going to the yard. And he looked over at me. He say, Prince, whenever you get ready, man, just come down to the school, and I'll teach you how to read. And I snapped on him. That's what you say to me? You know, because I felt embarrassed because I didn't want to do nobody to know that you can't read and stuff. And I'm like, how does white boy know? You know what I'm saying? I can't read. You know what I'm saying? And he just kept messing because, you know, in the federal system, you have to go to school.
Yeah.
If you don't have a GED, you have to go to school.
Yep.
And I would just go and sell to myself, you know. And so one day he said, man, listen, that's not you. You tripping. Your son will want you to be locked up in prison the rest of your life. You know, because at this time they had chomos coming to Marion, and I was snapping on them. You know, I would really snap on them, you know, because how can I care about somebody that's molesting kids, you know, doing porn, selling kiddie porn, all these, you know what I'm saying, weirdos to me at this time. They coming in the prison system, so I'm taking my anger out on them, treating them bad, talking bad to them and stuff. You know, I really fed into that stuff. And so Randy just kept on staying on me, man. And he said, man, if you give me a chance, I'll teach you how to read and write, you can get your GED. And so I took that pain and I just started studying, man. Every day I would study. Then the white boys was getting mad at him because after school, we would meet up. Yeah, we'd meet up, you know what I'm saying, in the library. And they was trying to stop him from tutoring me.
Yeah.
You know, so that was my turning point too also because, you know, I had got so serious and learning how to read, bro. You know, do you know what that was like for me? I tell people.
It was torture.
Hey, man, but learn it now. I can pick up something. I can read something, man. Like, that was like building up my pride, my confidence,
Okay.
and everything. Yeah. And now these white boys telling him he can't tutor me and that's it. We're in the school because of this prison politics stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why would y'all want to do that? So I went up to the library one day and I snapped. And I stood on it. And I said, man, ain't nobody got to help me. I told all the St. Louis boys, all the blacks, y'all ain't got to help me. I'm going up here and talk to their shot caller. You know what I'm saying? Telling Randy he can't tutor me up here in the library. And that's what I did. I walk over to their table where all of them sitting. I walk over, I say, which one of y'all say Randy can't tutor me?
Nobody said nothing.
They just sitting there. I'm like, I want to know which one of y'all say Randy can't, you know what I'm saying, tutor me no more. I'm almost close to get my GED, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so.
And getting that GED, did you feel like that was more of an accomplishment for your son? Like, I'm going to do this for you?
Man, that's what it was. I think me and you talked about it one time. Yeah, that was the thing. Like, I'm finally doing something for him.
Right.
You know, and for my mother, I was thinking about my mother too. It's like I'm finally doing something because she always tried to encourage me to go to school. Stanley, if you just go to school, you know, you can be something. You know what I'm saying? You can be somebody. You can do great things because you my son. You know what I'm saying? You good. You a good person. You know, she's always telling me that you got a good heart.
If you didn't take Randy up on his offer, what do you think your life would have been like today?
I don't want to say it, but I want to say this, man. I still be in prison.
Yeah.
Because of the homie time stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it. You know, that's why they stabbed me up in the unit. When I got
I heard about it.
Yeah, because I can't allow nobody to tell me what I can't do. I've always been like that. My mother and them couldn't tell me what I couldn't do. It's like, can't nobody tell me what I can do and what I can't do. Not that I'm no tough dude. That's what I'm trying to tell people. I don't think I'm tough. I just don't like bullies. I don't believe nobody should be trying to bully somebody into doing something they don't want to do. You know what I mean? And so, because of the politics, how everything was set up, having a shot caller, you know, whatever this guy say, you know what I'm saying, that's what we do from St. Louis. You know, that's how we supposed to respond. You know, so I think I would, man. But learning how to read and write got me in those programs, Cahill, and I started getting these tools like rational thinking skills. Rational thinking, now I can rationally think stuff through. I got coping skills that I can use. And coming down there to the LCP program, being allowed to come in there and be around you guys, and me and Jawan would be in the theater, you know, chopping it up. And then I could go to Dr Hughes' office and he would sit down and talk to me. Miss Diane. Yeah, Rita. She would spend time. Yeah, Rita, they would spend time with me, you know, making sure I pronounce words right. Rita, because she was good at that.
Because I think Rita used to be a school teacher.
Yeah, she used to be a school teacher, you know. I got pictures I need to put.
So we're going back to Randy. The reason why, because he was a tutor, I'm assuming. So I think the reason why he said that is because you know I was a tutor. Right. And as a tutor, you grade the books too, and he probably seen your level and said, "Oh," and I believe he's seen something else in you. Because one thing about people, and you know, he's still a human, and he's got a divine intervention. He's seen, oh, here go this tough dude, because we know that in jail you have to wear that shield. That's a defense mechanism. This is who I am. I'm from here. I'm from the hardest set in St. Louis. I'm from Detroit. I'm from
the West Side. Yeah.
You know, I come from them. And he's seen you and said, "Hey, it's something else in this man," you know. And I believe he said, "I'm gonna help him for a particular reason." Randy could have got killed. You know, and it was prison politics. I'm gonna explain what the prison politics is. In those federal prison systems, you on what you call homeboy time or car time. So if you local and like Leavenworth, so Leavenworth had a lot of different cities. So you had St. Louis, Kansas City, etc. And those are who the people that you roll with, which it was some BS, I would say, but it also helped locally because you had people that was from St. Louis who would usually beef locally with the Bloods, the Crips, and all that. But they learned to say, "Hey, are you my homeboy in here? We would have killed each other on the street, but I gotta be your homeboy." And they wind up growing and getting a good connection with each other. And out here, sometimes they able to stop the beef, so it was good for that. But what I didn't like was they told you all the blacks can't talk to the whites or the whites can't talk to the
I hated that.
That was, and they allow the inmates to run the institution. The guards just to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. So that's what he mean by prison politics, meaning the blacks was not supposed to communicate with the whites unless it was an illegal transaction. If it was if they selling each other something illegal, then you got the right to do it. But to be helping each other, no, you shouldn't be helping him. So Randy took a sacrifice to help this man. Not this black man, not this white, a man. He seen a man because you're a man before anything.
That's right.
It goes back to what Martin Luther King say. If you judge a man not for the color of skin, but the content of his character. And I think that's what he looked and seen the character in you and say, hey, look, let me help this guy, and he's doing high honors for that.
Yes, I talk about him all the time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think once whatever happened in Marion, you snapped and you guys rolled over to Leavenworth. I think that time in the hole, there was a time where it clicked. Because I used to tell people, they used to ask me like, how is the hole? My grandmother used to think it was like it is on TV. You naked in this little dark room, but no. So I always say that the hole is the rebirth. Because I don't know if you remember my first word of the day. My first word of the day. So in LCP, you had to do this thing called a word of the day.
Right.
And what that consists of, you had to become a public speaker. And that's when I learned that. I never knew I was going to be a public speaker. But you had to pick a word and you had to write about this word, and it had a power phrase, and it had to be encouraging to yourself, now, the past, and the future.
Present,
and it had to encourage the people that you was talking to. So I did not know what I was going to write about, but I remember I made my change. It came in a hole, when my little brother got killed.
Right, yeah, right.
So that's something else that me and you shared.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Death changed us,
Yep.
So I remember being in the hole, and I said, womb, because when we come to this earth, we come out the womb,
right?
And I was like, wow, because in the English alphabet, you can substitute the consonant for a consonant and vowel for a vowel. So when you dead, when you out of sight, out of mind, because I was facing a lot of time, so a lot of people wrote me off like they did you. I wasn't getting no visits. Nobody didn't even visit me locally in Clayton. 5-minute drive, nobody visited me. So I felt like I was out of sight, out of mind. I was like dead. So when you put a dead person in a tomb, but when you have a rebirth, you come out of the womb. So I'm like, oh, if you substitute the T for the womb, so they think I'm dead.
Right.
I'm finna be reborn again.
That's right. That's
I'm gonna be born again. So that's why I made it womb. And so I think when you was in that hole, locked away, out of sight, out of mind, you had time to think, and the umbilical, a child feeds off the umbilical cord, and your umbilical cord was like your books, the Bible, whatever else that was giving you that nourishment or whatever. It might have been a guard walk past today, say, how you doing today, Stanley? Oh, I'm all right, man, I'm chilling down. It's gonna be okay. That encouraging word that helps you, and you grow off them things, and that's what it was for me. I had a pen pal named Stacy Clayton. Me and her was pen pals. We both was federal prisoners, and we was going to court one day. I was like, oh, girl. He's on the bed.
Yeah, I know. Oh, man.
I wanted to kiss that woman.
Yeah.
I tried to. I had locked up 2 years. Man, yes. I just wanted a hug so bad.
Yes.
And I think if
we
they
look forward for those visits, man.
I think in jail, if they would implement just a hug,
yes,
it would really calm a lot. Because I wanted a hug so bad. I just wanted a hug. And but she gave me her information. I started writing her. And at that time, they were trying to hit me with the career offender statute. So everything started I was looking at guidelines 262 to 327. That's like 22 to 30 years. So I was like, oh, man, I'm done. I thought I was done.
Yes.
And so I told her, because she was falling in love, I had that game, boy. I was writing her all types of stuff, So she's falling like, oh, Kevin, I love you. When I got her, I'm going to send you all my money. I'm going to get you a lawyer. And I said, no, don't do that. I said, look, I'm done. I'm done. Just go about your life. I'm like, look, and I sent her a copy of my guidelines. I said, I'll never get out. So just go ahead, go about your life. And she wrote me back. She said, I seen those guidelines those are the federal guidelines, but that ain't God guidelines. He got some guidelines
Amen.
different for me.
Amen. Amen.
And when she said that, I changed. That
Amen.
letter changed me, and
Amen.
I couldn't even sleep that night. All that night, I kept on hearing it. I'm like, man, I can't. And I said, man, you know what? I just gotta pray. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to change. So I was going to a service called Christian Science,
Mm-hmm.
and I went in that service.
I took one of those services too.
I went in that service, and I just changed. I looked because I was a jailhouse lawyer. I filed motions and all that stuff. I used to fight the courts. I want this. I'm going to trial. So I stopped looking at the prosecutor as my enemy and looked at her as a person that was put there to protect society. And there's something that I did, and she just needed to protect society from something I did. Not me, but my way of thinking. And so I said, you know what? I'm not going to look at her as my enemy no more. So I withdrew all my motions. And everything that started opening up, and I was firing lawyer after lawyer after lawyer, and I had this Asian attorney named Yi Sun. I never forget her. And I said, listen, I know I did wrong, and I know I got to go to jail, but I don't think I should go this long. I'm like, come on, now. I don't think I didn't
know
kill
that's
anybody.
right. That's right.
I said, only thing I want is a fair opportunity. So she told me, she said, well, you just pleaded guilty to this burglary case, and that's what got you careered, and it's still within 120 days. So we could file a 2435, and it's basically withdraw that plea. And I said, I already filed it. She said, yeah, but they look at you like you're a jailhouse lawyer, and they feel like you don't know nothing. You shouldn't be. And she said, you're right in everything you're saying, but it's you saying it. And I said, what can I do? She said, let me do it. She said, I'll do it for you. She said, but if I do it for you, I promise you, you'll never come back to jail. I said, I promise I'll never come back to jail. So she filed it, and they withdrew it. And when they withdrew it, I was no longer a career offender. I had never wanted to hurry up and go plead guilty so fast. So
I know that's right.
I was like, please hurry up. She had, you know how they set your court date like 90 days? I said, no, let's go tomorrow.
I just
wanted to plead guilty.
Let's hurry up and go and get over with it.
When they finally got me, they said, guilty. I screamed it. I was like, come on with it. And I thought I was going to get 6, but I wound up getting 10, or I think it was 11. That gave me, it was over. It was 132 months. So I was like, man, I still felt like, dang, I thought I was getting 6. But I was like, dang, all right. But when I was in Rochester, I was fighting for my jail time, and Obama made that law, and I didn't give up. Remember State Joint?
Yeah, State Joint.
State Joint was supposed to be a jailhouse lawyer. He told me, oh man, you might just give up on that. I said, I ain't gonna never stop fighting for myself. I only had 3 years left, and I was still filing. And one day I was sitting down, and they called my name. And it was a caseworker, and I got a write up. I used to steal out the kitchen a lot.
Yeah.
I was so I admit, I stole everything.
That's right.
If it wasn't bolted down, I was stealing it. And the reason being is because I had nobody sending me money.
That's right.
So I had to survive.
That's right.
In them places, you have to survive. You have to find a way to survive. So mine was I could earn clothes real good. I used to crease people's pants, and I was still out the kitchen. Because the creasing thing that was kind of slow. It get you some money, but people only want that for visits or a program, and I need the money every day. I like to eat tunas and stuff because I'm trying to get my body right. So I got to, that's expensive to eat like that. So I had got caught stealing in Rochester because that was a habit. Even though I had got enough, I didn't stop. It became a habit. It became a habit. So when I was in Rochester, I got caught stealing some oil or something, and I got rolled up, and they called me Perry Mason in jail because I beat every write-up I've ever had. I would always litigate it. So I go down there to the captain's office. He said, I already know you're going to say that you didn't do this, or you're going to have some technical way, some legal loophole saying that you didn't take it. So I told him, I said, stealing is actually I have to leave out of the facility, and I didn't leave out of the facility yet. So he said, Cahill, I'm not finna go there with you. I tell you what, we just gonna throw this away since you finna go home in a couple of days anyway. And it's 2015. I'm like, no, I don't leave till 17. He said, no. He showed it to me. It was a Saturday, and I seen it. It said, CR. I'm like, huh? So I'm like, man, what is? I was quiet that whole weekend.
Oh, so you left Leavenworth and went there?
I left Leavenworth and I transferred to Rochester.
That's right. Yeah, you left before that incident occurred with me then.
Yep.
Sure did.
You were the stabbing. Yeah, I heard about it. So I'm there, and Monday came, and I couldn't wait for the caseworkers to come in because I think there's an error in the computer. Something not right. Something can't be right on what he just showed me. So he called me, and I went down there, and I said, they said I go home Wednesday. He said, no, you go home tomorrow. And I said, wait a minute, what are you talking about? He said, oh, didn't you file this? And then he said, they granted it. Here you go. He said, do you want, and I'm sitting there looking like crazy. He like, do you want to go home or not? Yeah. So I had to call my family, let them know I was coming home. But getting out, man, I knew that was going to be challenging. Now, I had plans, but all my plans was 2017. So I had to, it was just like, boom. I was like, whoa, what do I do? So I get to the halfway house, only had 29 days to do.
So let me ask you something that everybody always asks me.
Yep.
This is the one question everybody asks me I talked to since I've been home. What was the thing that messed you up the most when you got out? What was the one thing? It's one thing, you know what I'm saying?
Smartphone.
Okay.
And it took me a week to learn how to answer it.
Okay.
But it took me a little time how to answer the phone.
Yeah.
The FaceTime, the backup cameras, because they didn't have backup. It was just so much that had changed.
But what was that one thing though? It's always like it's just this one thing that always just gets you when you come home.
That blew my mind.
Yeah, that blew your mind. Just the one thing, Cahill. I want to know.
It's so
because
many.
when I tell everybody the one thing that blows my mind.
What blew your mind?
No, I asked you.
Oh, the style, the skinny jeans and stuff. Men dressing like women.
I mean, whatever it was.
It was
what
so
was
many
the one
things.
thing? I know it's a lot of things that got us, but what was the one thing that like you?
I returned 7 years ago, so I'm a citizen now, so I relate to those people who getting out, but it's like, hey, that's the past. That's the old book now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. One thing, I think it was the feminization of the male.
Hey man, but I want to tell y'all, everyone listening, I want to tell y'all the one thing that really, really blew my mind when I came home.
What was it?
And when I say it, just know, you know what I mean? It was like brand new to me. I mean, never experienced it before in my life. Never ever. And so it really blew my mind when I came home. I went to the Galleria.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they give you a pass when you get out, so you get to go shop when you're in the halfway house and stuff. So, I'm really not seeing nothing while I'm in the halfway house because you have to be there a certain amount of time before you get your first pass to go shopping.
Apple Pay.
Yeah.
Google Pay.
You know what I'm saying? To get your stuff that you
I want to know. Come on, man. Are y'all ready for this? What was the one thing that blew your mind?
It is one thing that blew my mind, y'all, and it still blows my mind today. But, it's okay. I'm like, I've been home 5 years now, so it's like, okay, it's like the norm to me, and that's men's with their ass out. I done did all this time in prison, and I come home, and every time I look up, it's a man ass all the way out his pants.
So the sagging.
And it still bothers me. I don't know how men can do that, but they say it's a swag. It's a swag I would never, get with. But I can't understand. I'm like, how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
These guys was wearing their pants under their butt, like they so far down, all you can see is their butt out.
Mm-hmm.
And so that like I'm going to the Galleria. I'm on the Metro because you don't have to catch the Martin Luther King bus to get to the Metro Link and go to the Galleria. And I had to figure that all out.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go from Kings Highway, Martin Luther King, and catch the Dr. Martin Luther King bus down to the Metro Link.
Then get on another line because it's a blue line.
You know what I mean? And this guy is right here in front of me, man. All his butt is out. It's like, and I'm in prison, and I don't see this. But I'm out, and all I'm seeing is men's with their butt out. I'm talking about all the way out. And the women was loving it, so I'm like, wow.
I think younger women.
Oh, man.
I think it's more
older
younger
women. Man,
I think going to be the
older
women.
women.
When it's older women like that, that's a Kruger.
And it still blows my mind because I'm looking at it like this, man. Like, people had this preconceived notion like most men's in prison do a lot of time. They gay, we get caught up in homosexual activities
Not me.
and stuff like that. Yeah, I know a lot of us. That's why we friends.
Right.
That's why we friends, because we was on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but people and women, they really believe that stuff. They just can't believe that you can go this long without sex. You know what I mean? Like other men's attract other men's, you get involved in this stuff. So when I came home and I'm seeing all these men's with their butt out like that, bro, I was like, man. And it's still like,
well, I'm
it's
gonna tell you why it didn't blow
embarrassing to
me. You
as
was
a
gone
man.
longer than me. I had left in 2008, so
You saw it.
I had already seen it. But going back when you mentioned sex, going back to Chaplain Hughes, remember he used to say, "Hey guys, when you get out of jail,
Yes.
you don't need to have you guys shouldn't have a relationship for the first 3 years."
That's right.
I said, this man must think somebody gay.
Yeah.
I was totally against that. But
I remember that in the theater when he did that.
now I agree.
Yeah, now I agree. I totally agree.
I understand what he's saying,
Yeah.
because he said that you're broken trying to fix yourself, and a woman that's accepting a guy straight out of prison, she might have some issues. She could be like a mentor or something, or
Right.
because a man don't have to be mentored by a man; he can be mentored by a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And he said she could be a good friend,
Mm-hmm.
but to say, "Hey, I'm going to take you," and just. He said it's two broken people trying to fix each other, and it's just not going to work. Two broken things, it's just not going to work. And the reason, I was thinking sexually, like, I'm just going to have to bust when I get out. I got to get this thing off.
Right, right.
But he was right, because I didn't experience a lot of trauma, with women. Not a lot. I had my fair share. And I was like, man, I
If
had
you
no
had
business.
waited.
If I had waited.
If you had
I'm like,
waited,
man,
yeah.
if I had waited.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I should have listened to him.
Yeah.
But when I did, I didn't rush right into that.
Yeah.
I had a plan.
But women see me, bro. I'm totally single right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being because I'm not quick to have sex with women.
Right.
I finally done it after I was home 26 months. I finally got in a relationship, and we were super cool. Until
so you almost made the 3 years. You waited 26 months before you got some?
26 months,
Woo!
bro. 26 months.
You almost
I
made it.
26 months until I finally went against God's plan for my life.
Yeah.
And had sex.
Yeah.
And we were super cool. We had the best friendship ever. When we had sex, everything went crazy, bro.
Didn't have your
went,
Viagra.
Oh, man. It went crazy, bro. It went crazy, man. Yeah. And I'm like, man, why did I do that?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I'm really holding. It's like, I don't want to be involved.
Yeah.
I do, and I don't. I do because I'm a man.
Yeah.
But I don't because I know what comes, behind it and everything. So I just been totally just holding. And people find it hard to believe. They look at me, and I've been having this thing where I'm going to ask 100 women, do you think I'm single or not? And so for everyone, I've been asking, me and John was together, and we asked this woman that, and she was like, yeah, you got somebody. Either you got somebody, you dating or something. They find it really hard to believe that I'm totally single. I'm not dating nobody, you know what I mean? But having you here is really a blessing for me, too, because it's like my friendships are still there, and I always believed in that as a kid. When I make a friend, keep a friend. I believed in that, you know what I mean? And so that's why having you here, man, is just. And when I came home, and you got in touch with me, do you remember that when you got into? I was happy, man.
I remember when we first bumped each other at the car wash.
Yeah, at the car wash, and I was happy to see you, man, because I didn't know that you was even out. Because you was a good friend to me in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was happy to see you and see how you was living and stuff, So, man, I praise God a lot, man, for all of y'all, because. But a lot of y'all don't know that was in prison with me. When you became my friend, y'all helped me endure what I was going through, being alone and being in prison, without any outside support. You know what I mean? So having y'all
So what are you doing today?
Yeah, man.
We want to know what you're doing today now.
Oh, what I'm doing today?
Yeah.
Praising God foremost every day. I work hard at it, man. Really serving God and being kind to everyone I chance to meet. And doing everything legally possible, working hard, That's what I do, and I just serve God, man. That's what I do today, and that's why I started
And you
this
got Prince on the rise now?
Yeah, I got Prince on the rise.
Yeah.
And it's Prince on a rise.
The Prince on the rise.
AriZe.
But that St. Louis vernacular, we say Prince on the rise, and it sounds like Prince on the rise.
All right.
But it's Prince on a rise.
Yeah, Prince on a rise. AriZe.
I see it on the
And
hat.
let me, it's on my hat. Everybody, can y'all see? It's on my hat. Check me out. But anyway,
it's being filmed. Okay.
Yeah, so the reason why I took the S out and put the Z in, because me being a Christian, believing I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthened me, I believe I can do anything from A to Z, which is why I do what I do today.
Yeah.
I really believe in that. So I stick to my guns. I'm just doing what I feel like God called me to do, and just be kind to everybody I chance to meet and living right. I haven't done nothing illegal since I've been home, and I've been evicted twice. I have a story, behind everything, but I stayed the course, and so God is good, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So what made you start podcasts? Podcasts.
Okay, John, your turn. But listen, because my brother here, Marlon, when I first met him and I was telling him my story, what I had been through and stuff, and me and his wife is real super cool. She like my sister, you know what I mean? And so I go over there to get a pie, and we talking, and I'm telling him my story. He said, "Hey man, you know what? You need to tell your story." He said, "Man, the first chance you get, man, me and you need to get together, man. You need to tell your story." And so that was the thing that inspired me to tell my story. And the young lady that I used to do a lot of volunteer work at Help Me Hand Me Downs. I had her here, Stephanie Williams, awesome lady. Anyway,
Soul
lady
Jack.
that
Soul Jack.
Yeah, Stephanie Sojak. I'm so sorry, Stephanie. If you're listening, I'm sorry, Stephanie. Do not punch me, because she will.
Yeah.
But listen, she had this lady, Deanna, worked there, and her daughter come by one day. Me and her got real cool, close, special young lady. And so one day she called me after hearing my story, bits and pieces of it from my mother and them about how I've been in prison and stuff. She called me and she said, "Stanley." I'm like, "Who is this?" Cecily. I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" She said, "Can I interview you?" And I'm like, I felt so honored and so taken, like, man, what? I say, now I'm feeling like I'm somebody, like she want to interview me. She
Somebody
said,
want to take the time out.
Yeah, she said, for my school, probably need somebody to interview, and I really would like to interview you, and know your story. So I said, okay. We met up down at the shop, and me and her, man, we sat down, and she asked me questions that opened up a lot of old wounds and stuff. You know what I mean? And
you cried and all that.
Oh man, I cried like
Prince
a new
cried a lot. Too.
Man, I'm talking about, man, I didn't realize how broken I was. And I just put that scripture on Facebook about how you can be so broken. And I didn't know how broken I really was until me and her did that interview. And that led me to give my testimonial story, And so everything was like God was telling me, Stanley, I need you to tell your story. I really believe that you can help somebody. You know what I mean? You can help. It's not a lost souls out here. So with that being said, I just wasn't paying attention to it, still doing my thing, cutting grass and stuff. Now, everybody tell me write a book, start a nonprofit, help young men come out of prison, go to juvenile centers. You need to talk to young men because they will relate to you. So I'm going up in the schools, talking to kids and stuff. And it just led me back to what Marlon was saying, that I should tell my story. So I did a testimonial story. I called him to do it, have him to do it, because he's the first one suggested that I do it. And he didn't answer the phone, so I was led to do it by someone else. And so after I did my story, me and him saw each other again, and I'm telling him about it. He said, "You know what? You need to meet John. Me, you, and John need to get together and sit down, man." He said, "You need to go ahead, man, and do this." And so as we started talking, led me to doing the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, John, did I get it right, John?
You got it right.
You got it right. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, brother. Thank you. That's my guy, y'all,
Yeah.
and my manager. And so he say, man, let's do your story. The day we met, right here in the studio, he didn't hesitate. He said, let's do your story. You know, I said, man, I ain't got no money. He said, we'll worry about that later on, man. You know, he said, but I got everything we need, man. He said, come on, man, let's do your story, man. You know, I shook him up, I touched him. So when I realized how sincere he was in asking me to do my story, then he decided, let's do this podcast, man. Let's talk to people, you know. You know, invite some of your friends in that know you so people can get a feel of who you are, you know what I'm saying, and stuff. So that's how I ended up doing the podcast.
That's good.
Prince on the Rise.
So this was spontaneous for real. This
yes,
was like a
yes. It was like,
I was in here and said, hey, grab the mic.
Yeah.
I mean, man, you know, he say, man, do you? That's what he said. That was his words. Wasn't the more what he say? What John say? John say, do you?
Yeah.
I said, okay, man. I said, because, you know, I'm not going to be writing that down. I have to do everything just original.
Freestyle. It's coming from the heart. It's coming from the heart.
I don't need to write that down. I have a whole lot to talk about.
If the Stanley Prince sitting here right now today, if you could go back and talk to the young Stanley Prince that was, I don't know, 21 years old, what advice would you give him?
Man, why did you do something that you didn't like to do no way? And that was getting high. I never liked getting high. Why did you even try it? You know what I mean? I don't understand how I did that, you know, and I'm going to talk about that one day. Still to this day, and people want to know why it was so easy for me to get off drugs. Because number one, I never liked the drugs. I always thought them was weak people. I never wanted to be considered weak. You know what I'm saying? My pride level was like that. You know, like that was weak stuff to me. You know, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, drinking all that stuff. You know, that was weak. So I'm like, why do I need to drink and smoke weed to be still? Like, I thought that was weak. I really did. So I would go back and that's why the name of my testimony was the comeback story, paid in full. Oh man, because I'm having this dream. Let me say this, y'all, before we get off the earth. I got to share this with everyone, so y'all know where I'm at in my walk with God and everything. It's like this is all spiritual. God giving me these visions. It ain't nothing I'm laying down thinking about. I'm walking around saying, "Oh, this is an idea. I'm going to try it." No, this was stuff just popped in my head one day. I'm walking. I'm getting released from prison. And all of a sudden, one of my homeboys pull up on me and he say, Prince, before you leave, I need to ask you a question. Why you never liked him? I say, who? And he point behind me. So I turn around and look. And there was a 19-year-old Stanley Prince. And there was God, bro. He was just showing why I never liked him. Because, see, when you like something, you don't put needles in their arm. You don't mark up their body. You know what I mean? You don't disrespect your parents that love you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? When you liking yourself,
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You treat yourself better than that. And so, and he was showing from the age of 19 and to the time of me getting released, you know what I'm saying, from prison, I did a lot to Stanley, a lot of, you know what I'm saying, bad things to him. You know, putting him in, out of prison, in big fights. I'm in big fights, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I almost got my eye knocked out. I have marks and wounds all over my body, man, from, you know, I did a lot to him. And so that was the thing that really just like inspired me, brother. I mean, it's like, and so that's why I named it the comeback story, paid in full, because really I've always been a good kid, always been a good guy, never liked to mess with people, mistreat people and stuff. So that's why it was called the comeback story, paid in full. I paid for this day. I paid for everything that's going on in my life today. I paid for it in full, man. I served my time. I never rat on nobody. I never raped nobody, molested nobody, you know what I'm saying? None of that stuff. So I'm saying everything I went through, man, you know what I'm saying? Losing all my parents while I was in prison, my only child, my only brother, you know what I mean? I paid for everything. And like when you was talking about how you got released, I never told you how I got released, have I?
Nope.
A letter was written. You know, I had went to try to get the Second Chance Act. I wrote Obama letters, you know what I mean? I was really trying to get out of prison. you know, I was like, man, 2020? Man, I'm looking at like, wow, I still got to go to 2020. Like, it's still some years ahead of me and stuff. And so when I got down and accepted Christ into my life, when my son got killed, I was for real. I really was. I was like tired. I didn't want to be in prison no more. That's why when I came to Leavenworth, I was getting all the programs. I had really made up my mind. I don't want to leave until I'm right. You know, and I told God that I said, man, listen, when you open the doors, make sure I'm right, because I don't never ever want to come back. And please surround me around good people when you let me out. You know, so when he let me out, it wasn't no man gonna let me out. It's when God was gonna let me out. And so I really believed and I accepted it. So that's why I pressed forward, man, every day doing the best I can, even in working out, training guys, doing everything I could. I was doing it from a good place in my heart. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to go home, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to just go home still stuck in that warehouse mode. I'm just sitting in prison being warehouse, waiting to get out so I can go back to my old life. I want to go back to something different. I want to have a different way of thinking. So anyway, when I get rolled from Leavenworth after I got stabbed, you know, they transferred me because the whole St. Louis car had voted me out. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't tell who done it or none of that. You know what I mean?
None of that. They felt like you was supposed to be out muscle and you in change. You making us look bad. You supposed to be out here being our muscle.
Yeah,
you know?
but I'm trying to get along with every nationality, every car. They didn't like it. And so
I was able to witness that when I was in there with you. People, they didn't like that. They was like, nah.
Yeah, I'm training other guys how to fight and stuff. And I'm like, y'all can get, the reason why everybody else coming up here getting in, because y'all don't want to come up here and get in. But you training dudes, man, you know what I'm saying? You're going to help them fight against us. But anyway, when I get transferred from Leavenworth to Florence, Colorado, a whole different mindset of people. It's like 5 dudes from St. Louis up there.
Yeah.
Everybody else from Cali. And you know, California guys had a thing against St. Louis guys. So when I go on the compound, they put me in a cell with a California Crip. And we came really, really, really cool too. You know, after I dropped him in the cell. You know, that goes dope because I don't know what he was talking about, but hey, talking about you from St. Louis, you know what I'm saying? You know, he this big, so I just know that what's the mindset the California guys got against St. Louis guys, and so the way he was talking, like, you know, real aggressive, he big as hell, like, I'm like,
but after that,
boom, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know what he was on.
Yeah.
And I dropped him, you know, and so when they came to do count and stuff, he hit the door, and so they had to let you out the cell. And so he go over there, he's not saying, man, I slipped and fell and hit the toilet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't bust this shit up and stuff. So anyway, they put us up under investigation because they came to look at, you know, when you...
That little knuckle check.
Yeah, so they looked at my hand and seen my hand was bruised, so they put 2 and 2 together. But anyway, so I'm in the hole, and he in the hole. And he say, man, whatever you do, cuz, you know how they talk to Chris, say, don't tell him nothing, just stick to my story, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, we both would never get out. So I'm like, I wonder if he's trying to make sure we get out again so he can get another shot at me, try to get some revenge back. So I go with it because, you know, I ain't worried, you know what I mean? So I go with it, we get out and stuff, and he say, man, the homeboy say, me and you need to go square off, you know? And so I'm saying to myself, if you just get a little bit more closer, we're going to square off right here. Because he keep me this distance. Because I'm like, I'm not finna go nowhere with you and fight in no cells, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Wherever it started, that's one of the dangerous things, you know what I'm saying, to happen. And so this guy come out of nowhere, and he say, y'all ain't finna do nothing. Because if y'all fight, the whole penitentiary going on lockdown. Because that means you ain't gonna accept it, he ain't gonna accept it, so it's gonna be a forever living thing. And your homeboys over there, they ain't gonna accept it. And I looked over first time, realized only 5 of us on the compound. You know what I mean? So that means the whole prison gonna get locked down. So I got to figure out, man, what y'all gonna do about this. You know, I said, man, you know, you put up on me, man, my first day in the room, how you put up on me, man, you led, you know what I'm saying, you caused it to happen. You would have done the same thing to me. You know what I'm saying? And so we got real, real cool. So I got in this program, and I just started programming, going to church. And one day they called me up front to the captain's office, and they say, the warden want to see you. They take me up there to the warden, and the warden, Lieutenant go in there, he come out. Sergeant going in the warden's office, he's coming out. You know, the major, he come in, he go in, he come out, he look at me. I'm still sitting there sweating like, man, somebody done wrote a letter.
Yeah,
An old case done came up, somebody trying to set me up. What's really going on? And so finally, he come to the door and say, come on in, Mr. Prince. Mr. Prince, you know, usually they don't talk to you like that if you on bad terms. I'm saying he probably just being professional. So I go in, and he say, have a seat. I say, Warden, I prefer to stand up if that's okay with you. I don't want to sit down. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't got my composure together. If I'm standing up, I'm good. You know, and he say, no, please have a seat, and I need you to read this. I said, oh, somebody wrote a letter. I said, oh, they finna transfer probably not to a worse penitentiary than this one. I've been doing good. So I'm like, Warden, listen, I don't care what that letter say. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't do nothing, man. All I do is program. I mind my business. I work out. That's it. I don't get involved in nothing. I don't mess with none of the women staff members here. None of that. I don't do nothing, man. He say, read the letter. I get the letter, and I'm reading it. He said, no, I need you to read it out loud. And I'm going to bring this letter and share it with everybody. And I'm reading the letter out to him. When I get done, he said, Monday morning, 10 o'clock, I need you off my compound. That's how I got my release. It wasn't from no Obama, no second chance. Mr. Gallardo, and I've been calling him. I tried to call him up today with John. He was a drug facilitator there. And he wrote this letter, man. I got to let everybody see it, man, and read it. This letter is what set me free. That Monday, I was out of there. And I thought everybody was playing with me and stuff. You know, I got an immediate release because he worked the prison system 37 years and he never wrote a letter for nobody. And he wrote that letter, man. When you read it, you know, man, it'll blow you away, man. He wrote that letter, and that letter is what got me released.
I got to see that letter. I don't want you to tell me what to say, but I just want to see it.
Oh, man. When you read the letter, brother, you're going to be like, wow. And so that's why I've been calling him, trying to call him. I don't send him pictures of things I'm doing and stuff. And so I had asked him that Monday morning. He was standing down in the receiving room, and I said, Mr. Gallardo, I said, why didn't you tell me? He said, I got up one morning, and I told my wife, I have to send a man home. I had to send you home. I felt like sending you home. You don't need to be here no more. You know, he said I felt I had to send you home.
So what can we expect for Prince from her?
You can expect a movie. You can expect me to have Prince on the Rise out freely, going to schools, churches, wherever I need to talk to troubled teens. You can expect a whole lot of that. And anyone want me to come into your school, any church, anywhere to speak to anybody, contact, my manager, and we can set dates up, and I'm willing to come in and talk.
I definitely need you. So, I go into the prison systems under the religious banner of the Moore Science Temple of America. But, I'm there to teach them the proper way to practice their religion, but it's other people that need that assistance. So I'm in the process of going in, creating a program, choices. It's going to be called choices again. There's going to be choices, consequences, or rewards. And I want to go in, not under the religious banner, but under a banner of get your thinking right.
And that's another thing I want to say,
thinking
too.
Right.
Listen, everybody. Kevin Cahill Bey, he's a Moorish American. And out of all my friends and brothers, in different religions, he has never, ever said anything against Christianity to me.
I can't.
And we became good friends. I mean, he has never. I mean, all the opportunities we done been together and talk and stuff, he never asked me, why you a Christian, man? What's up, man? Or none of that. No. He's the only one out of all of my brothers and my homeboys I've done time with.
Well, and not only that,
never, brother.
We are, we all are one when it's all said and done. Those are just titles and just a different way we say, okay, you're going to do it like, just like most Americans do, we do soccer. They do soccer, but they call it kickball. You know, so it's the same
Football.
thing. We all got the same. Oh yeah, football. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I look at religion as, you know, that there's a destination everybody trying to get to. Like I drove her, I took Paige to 170 to Page. He might have came from 270, but he got her, and he might have came from 367. But we all took different routes, but we all go to the same. We all come to the same destination. And my thing is, LCP. At one point, I feel like I was a religious gangbanger. Oh, this is the I was a.
Yeah.
So I tell some people that
Yeah, I
you
remember.
might be a Christian, a Muslim, or a Buddhist or whatever, but you might be an absolutist. And an absolutist is saying that, hey, my way is the only way, and whatever you're doing is wrong. That's error. To me, that's
Yeah.
just my
Yeah,
opinion.
me too.
You know,
Me
but
too.
this is my thing. You could. I don't care what your religion is. You could be a good Christian, a good Moor, a good. As long as you're just a good person, because they all have one thing in common: peace on earth and goodwill to all men. So
Amen.
if you're doing
Amen.
that, then you my brother and you my sister. You
That's
know,
right. That's right.
that's how I've always looked
That's
at
right.
it. You know, and if that's what's going to keep you and keeping you a better person, then go ahead. You
That's
know,
right.
and I don't think we should be pointing out because we could sit back and say, well, y'all do this, y'all do this.
Yeah.
But forget about the difference. What do we have in common?
That's right.
Because humanity, look at society. You know,
That's
we
right.
got school shootings and all that. You know, and we all need to be right there on the front line. You know,
Yeah.
when people go in there and do that, and you know what else taught me something? The pandemic.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you, the pandemic.
Man.
When the coronavirus came, and I've always wanted to just see our people work together. But I thought I'd never see it in my lifetime, but I got to see something great. I got to see humanity, the whole globe. You know why? Because when the pandemic came, Russia was working with the United States. You didn't care if you was a Muslim or Christian. We was like, what can we do to fight this as a humanity? Everybody was working together. That was a beautiful thing. You know,
Yeah,
you didn't see, nobody cared about where you was from.
That's
It was
right.
just like, what can we do? What can we
Yes,
do?
yes,
And that should have
yes.
taught the world something that, hey,
Yes.
we all have to stick together, you know,
Yes.
as one.
Yeah.
So that's why you've never, I still go to church, you know.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
I tell people all the time, even my family members
Yeah.
and friends, you have known me your whole entire life, and all you ever seen was me in and out of institutions, on drugs,
Yeah.
doing stuff I had no business doing. You've never seen me get out of jail and stay out 5 years. Come on, man. So I'm saying, you see this working for me,
Yeah,
you
it's
should
working.
be happy for me.
yeah,
Don't be, you know what I'm saying, don't try to assassinate, you know what I'm saying, my walk with God. If whatever I'm believing in, this is the best I ever lived in my entire life. You know, so if you can't be happy for me, you know what I'm saying, that says something about you, man. You know, people been still trying to put it together. Is he faking? Is he faking? Is he faking? You know what I mean? You know, what's going on with Stanley? You know, he, because they also used to seeing me in and out of trouble trying to
Yeah.
find the fast way out,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, of the struggle. But I'm with the struggle. I'm with it. See, I'm not against the struggle no more. See, when I was in the streets, when I was doing Cahill Bey, I was, man, against it. The struggle. I didn't want to struggle.
yeah, nobody do.
But I'm with the struggle.
Yeah,
For real, I'm really with it. Anybody that knows me right now, these 5 years I've been home, I'm up every day at 4 o'clock. If you call my phone at 4 o'clock and I ain't answered, either I'm left it in the house and I'm outside walking the dog, or I'm down in the basement working out, doing my push-ups or whatever it is. But I'm up every day at 4 o'clock in the morning.
you know why?
You know, going hard in the paint, what
Did
they
you,
say.
You read that 7 habits
Habits,
of
what
highly
you-
effective people,
Man.
and routine is one.
One of them. Routine, you have to keep
You have
the
to keep a routine.
You have to keep one, you know. And so I'm just saying, everybody out there listening, this Prince on the Rise, I want you all to know, man, if you believe in something, and I say this about faith all the time, if you know whatever it is you're doing is coming from a good place inside of you, you have to know, you have to believe that God gonna bless it. That's your faith. Now, if you're all over the place doing stuff you know you ain't got no business doing, yes, you're gonna have doubts about what's gonna happen in your life, if you're gonna be successful in whatever it is that you're doing, because you know you're all over the place. You're out here trying to just do what you can, you know what I'm saying, to get by any means necessary off anybody. But if you know whatever it is you're doing is coming from a good place inside you, man, you have to know God gonna bless it. That's faith. I don't care what nobody else say. That's my faith. And so I'm telling y'all, world out there, man, whoever listening, you know, man, do your very best. And I know sometimes it's hard because of that thing that live inside of us. I know it's hard sometimes to care for other people, but I'm telling you, a small act of kindness can carry you a long, long way. You'd be surprised how far you can go just being kind just a little bit. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me, but you can be nice to me. It's okay to say hi to me. It's really okay. It's not gonna hurt you, I promise you. It's not gonna hurt you at all. If you see me in passing, just speak. Because the thing I practice every day now in my life, everywhere I go, when I walk inside a place, I say, how's everybody doing? I speak to everybody. So I'm just saying, this is something that I know stands true to form because I met a lady when I went to celebrate my birthday in Grafton, Illinois. And I'm going to share this with everyone on my page.
Was that winery where you get on the thing? Yeah.
She wrote me a letter after I met, and I didn't know this lady was going through what she was going through. And just me stopping to talk to her, ask her for directions, and holding a conversation with her, led her back to God, going back to church and stuff, and I got it on my phone. She inboxed it to me. She said, there you are, my new friend, I found you. And so, just speaking to somebody can carry you a long, long way. So, man, what I'm doing today, I can honestly say I am the very best person I ever been in my life today. I am so very proud of Stanley Prince. And I promise you, I would not hurt him. I do not smoke because I know smoking will harm me. I do not drink because I know liquor will harm me. I do not smoke weed because I know weed will harm me. It will slow my mind down. It'll have me stuck like Chuck, as they say. I don't use no type of drugs. I might overeat a little bit, and I'm working on it because of my diabetes. But I truly love Stanley Prince. I got to know him. Those years I spent in prison, gave me time to get to know him. I love him, and I'm going to continue to do my very best to treat him with kindness, as I will you all too, as you cross my path. So I'm just saying, take care of everybody, and know that God is real.
One more thing, Prince.
Yes, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, before I leave out, I'm gonna come back to her because I'm in need of advice or the situation I'm dealing with. I'm just gonna go live with y'all with it next time I come back. But I want to tell the people out there that heard you, you don't do those things to Prince no more because Prince is your best friend.
Amen.
But those of you that's doing that, don't beat yourself up. You see Prince, and Prince, you what 50 something?
No, I'm 61.
61.
I just turned 61.
And it's never too late. So you say, so you've been out since what, 55 then?
Yeah.
About 55.
Yeah.
So it's never too late. And remember, this is what I'll tell everybody. Doubt is the enemy to faith. When you doubt yourself, never doubt yourself. When I had the company Own Your Future, the slogan was, if you could see it in your mind, you could hold it in your hand. Materialize what you visualize. When those times I used to walk the yard, when I get off to myself, I just put my headphones on, and I seen myself riding in a Mercedes. I seen myself flying on airplanes. I seen all those things, and guess what? I materialized every last one of them. But I just haven't been to Japan yet, Thailand, and I'm planning that right now. But don't doubt yourself, and if you're struggling with something, find somebody to get some help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because we all struggle for something. And a lot of times we struggle because we're afraid to speak up and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me? You might even have to call BHR. I'm going to send a shout out to them. Behavioral Health, whatever that, BHR though. But I call them sometimes and I just vent to them because it's a stranger. They can't judge me. They can't judge me. And you could just get on the phone and just get it out. Because sometimes you just got to get it out. You'll feel so much better if you just get it out. Whatever it is that you want to confess. Now, if you didn't kill somebody, I don't know what advice to give you. This is not legal advice or anything, but it's something that you're struggling with out there. If you're cheating, if your family think you're not getting high no more, but you're still doing it, and sometimes you just want to get it out. It's a confession. Hey, sometimes write a letter, and you just need to get it out. But ask for help. There's people out there that's waiting. You got brothers like Prince who want to help somebody.
That's what
you
I was
got people like me
say.
want to help. You got people like John and the other people that's in the room. They looking to help. Only thing I do is just open your mouth. You won't be judged. You won't be judged.
You won't be judged. Contact Prince on the Rise anytime. Anybody that's listening, you need somebody to talk to that's going to be quiet. and let you talk and hear you out, that's been through the same thing you've been through, call Prince on the Rise. I got you. I'm here for you. Always know that, y'all. I want everybody out there to know that all over the world, wherever you at. I don't care where you living at, where you from. If you need somebody to talk to, somebody to hear you out, call Prince on the Rise. I got you. I got you. You can talk to me about anything. Anything we ever talk about, I promise you, will be kept between me and you. You will never have to worry about me exposing nothing that you talk to me about, because that's our conversation, and it's special. Because I've had to call people, and talk to. That's how I got to where I'm at today. And for the listeners out there, I want you to know, when I came home, I was out there. I mean, I was depressed. I didn't know nobody can be so depressed. I was so depressed, I had to sought help, and I went, and I have a therapist I talk to now. But anyway, I was on medication for 18 months, taking this pill for depression, because I didn't realize what I was suffering with was called PTSD. I was suffering from it really, really bad. I was really sad inside. And so the people that was laughing at me when I was crying and breaking down, being emotional, even in prison, you have to understand, those people are going through something too. And they just don't know how to let it out. But God got me to a place where I just had to just start letting it out. And I thank God for when you had asked me a minute ago where I think I would be had I not learned how to read and write and stuff, you know what I mean? Would I be probably be still in prison, because I was stuck there mentally. But coming home released me from all that stuff. So, I mean, if you need somebody to talk to, call Prince on the Rise. I got you. We can talk about anything. Feedback. I need some feedback from this podcast. Send me some shots back. Let me know if I missed out on something I should have said that you wanted to hear or talk about. Shoot back at me. I got you.
And in my closing remarks, I want to thank everybody for inviting me out. Thank you, Prince, for inviting me out. I honor what you're doing. I like what you're doing. Keep it up.
I love you, bro.
And I love you too, my brother. And to the Cahill boys, I want to tell you, hey, if you're listening, just stop. And not just the Cahill boys, anybody that's out. That person right now that's finna go and rob that store, stop. Think about it. The person right now that's finna go try to retaliate and kill somebody, stop. Think about it. Remember that store? Stop, think, act, review. Just stop. That person right there. If you listen to this podcast, just have a moment of silence. Just stop and really think it all out. See the whole entire. Behind every choice you make, it's no gray line. You're gonna get a consequence or a reward. So for you who's finna go try to take that car and joyride, I mean, you're going to get 15 seconds of adrenaline rush, but you might just hit somebody that might cause a death, and you might not ever drive a car again. So stop and think about it. For you who's finna try to take your first hit, drugs is different for everybody. Some people heart bust. You might not ever be able to inhale again. To you that's finna squeeze the trigger, it could backfire. It could kill you. So just anybody out there that's finna make an irrational decision, just stop and think. With that, I'm going to say thank you for calling me out again, inviting me. It was an honor.
Yes, it really was. It really was.
Yeah.
Hey, can I say one more thing before I leave, Kevin? It was you. I just thought about something.
Yeah.
It was you that I walked the track with. I have a video of a lady that's watering her flowers. I'm cutting grass across the street.
Yeah.
And I have a video of this lady. She watering her plants and stuff. And it was you one morning. We was outside talking. I tried to get you to do push-ups with me. I said, I can't wait to get out where I can see that I had that beautiful wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get up in the morning, you know what I'm saying, help start my day. Well, when I saw her watering her flowers and stuff, I mean, man, it hit me, brother. I mean, it really did. I had a video, but before I went and videoed it, it's like her persona, everything just prepared me to go ask her for permission and tell her what I was going to do. And she said, sure, but just don't video my face. But I videoed her doing the whole thing. This is just one of the things that we used to walk the track in prison and talk about. Like, we can't wait to get out.
Do simple things.
Yeah, do simple things and get that woman, that queen.
And just be able to wake up in the middle of the night and go to a refrigerator.
Yes. So, hey, everybody, take care. It's been fun. It's been a blast having my brother here. So take care, everybody. And just know, man, thinking positive is a good thing.